Hi friends, it's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very excited to show you this simple and adorable flip book. I've made similar projects on my channel before, but it's a bit different. And I'm using really cute Doodlebug paper. I'll show you the whole collection in just a second. But I'm already flipping through the album that we're going to be making. Well, actually, I already made this one off camera, and the one up there that you can see a little peek of in the right corner, that's the one that the tutorial is going to be on today. So again, this is so fun. Get out your paper, craft right along with me, and I hope that you enjoy this. I really enjoyed making this. So go ahead and watch the tutorial and get the paper out, make this your own, get your stickers out, die cuts, whatever you want. These pockets can hold so much more. You can put pictures in there, and this is made to fit a lot of photos, so you can make these as gifts for family and friends. Or my favorite thing to do is fill them up with crafty goodies for a crafty friend. I hope you enjoy this, and thank you for being here. This is the adorable paper collection that I'm using for this project, and it's called Made with Love by Doodlebug Design. This is so cute and whimsical, and it's a little bit outside of the style that I usually use, but I absolutely fell in love with Doodlebug paper a couple years ago, and I did a few projects with it, but I just thought this one was so adorable, and I got some of the embellishments that goes with it. So this is actually one of my favorite paper companies, and I think that their paper is such great quality. They have such amazing products with their collections. So I'm going to flip through this beautiful, whimsical, double-sided paper, and then we'll get started on the tutorial. Okay, so I'm starting out with 8 pieces of scrapbook paper that measure 6 by 12. So I just cut the 12 by 12 in half, and I used the other half for this album. I'm going to use this half for this album. So first thing you're going to do is pick out your cover. So for this one, I picked out the yellow polka dot. So I think I'm going to choose this pink one with the little hearts on it. So I'm just going to stick that aside. And then I'm going to choose 5 of these for my pages. The 5 for my pages. And then these 2 we're also going to stick aside because we're going to be doing something different with these. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is work on our 5 pages. And the first thing we're going to do for these is cut 2 inches off of each one. So that means it is top at the top, bottom at the bottom. So I'm just going to put this in my paper trimmer and cut off 2 inches. So now each of these is going to have a 2 by 6 and a 10 by 6. So I'm going to do the exact same thing for the rest of these. That measure 10 by 6 and 5 pieces that measure 2 by 6. Now I'm working with my scoreboard, and I'm going to put each of these little 2-inch pieces in just like that, and I'm going to score them right down the middle at 1 inch. So super easy, just score these right down the middle at 1 inch. Okay, so next I'm working with my 5 pages, and you do not have to score these if you don't want to. You can just simply fold them in half, but I'm gonna score these right in half so I have a crisp fold. And since they're 10 inches, I'm gonna go right in half at 5. So now I'm just going to fold them in half on the score line. Gently press it with your bone folder. And you can make either side up, it doesn't matter. Just choose as you go. You're not going to lose any side. You're going to be able to see both sides in your album. I really love doing pattern on pattern. I think it's so pretty. So it's up to you how you want to do the hinges, but that's what these are. These are actually hinges that are going to hold the album together. So this is going to be my cover. I'm going to keep that in mind. And it's going to open like this. So I don't want it to be too busy, so I'm going to choose probably a more subtle one for the first page. So I think what I'm actually going to do is turn this cupcake one this way, and that'll look really nice when we open it. And the way I want my album is to open like this. You can see both sides of the paper, and then open like that. And here's the next page. So you're going to open it like this, and so on and so on. So what we need to do, and I've done this on my channel before, it's super easy, is connect these two pages. And how we're going to do that is using a really cute hinge. So I think I'm going to grab this one. I think that's so pretty with the pattern on pattern. So I'm just going to fold this in half on that score line. And now I have a little valley here, and it's going to hinge these two pages together. So because in my album I had pockets over here, the way we're going to do this is by adding glue on the top and the bottom. So the easiest thing that I found is just to keep your page that's going to be on the right flat on your surface, and then just take some wet glue, turn this onto the back, and do a very thin bead on the top and the bottom. So I'm sorry if I was out of frame right there. I did a very thin bead on the top and the bottom. And I'm going to close this up. So I closed up my little hinge, and I'm going to line the fold edge with this fold edge. So make sure it's even with that edge. Keep your hand on here, and then you're going to grab your first page. Make sure the fold is at the left and that you're right side up in the inside. And you're just going to layer that on top and line this up with that hinge edge as well. Okay, so we've let it dry for a few seconds, and now here's our first pages. So here's our hinge, and it's holding these two pages together, and it does form into a pocket. Isn't that so pretty? And you just turn that, and there's the inside of that page. And here's where we are. Then we're just gonna bring the next one in and do our next hinge. So I'll do this in real time, and then I'll speed up the others. So I'm gonna add a thin bead of glue. So there's two reasons I'm using wet glue. The first is so that way we have time to line it up and make sure it's straight, because wet glue lets you slide it around just for a second before it dries. And also, we're making a pocket, so just in case you're putting a bunch of stuff in and it goes and touches the glue, this glue will be completely dried. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Line up your folded edge with this folded edge. Make sure it's straight, just hold it down. And then take this and find that folded edge and layer it right on top. So now I have time to line those completely up straight, and there'll never be one crooked because you have that little extra window of time to make sure it's all even. Okay, so we have all our pages glued together, and I'll do a quick little flip. They're super cute. There's not one single page that has anything boring on it because they're all these gorgeous, adorable patterns. And I like it because you can stick like ephemera and journaling spots in the pockets, and then there's a lot of room for photos on the blank pages. I love how easy this is and how fast it is. You can like use up an entire paper collection and make a bunch of these. So now I've got the cover page, and I'm going to put it in the scoreboard at the 12-inch side. So I'm going to make my first score line at 5 3/4. So that's 5 3/4, and then the second score line is going to be at 6 1/4. So what I did here is I made a 1/2 inch gusset in the middle, if you can see that. So the next thing you're going to do is you're just going to score in at 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch there, and then you're going to go all the way down to 11 1/2, and that's your final score line. So now there's a 1/2 inch on each end. I'm just going to fold on all the score lines. So what I did these for is just to make those edges have a little more of a finished look. So we're going to glue these down, but they actually have a folded edge now for the cover. And so what I'm going to do there is just grab some of my Scor Tape and just bring it to the very edge here. And I'm going to link this below. This is my favorite adhesive ever. It's really strong and holds up really well. So when you use Scor Tape, you want to take your bone folder and press it down so that way you can peel it up pretty easily. So I'm going to take the backing off and just fold that over. And again, that just gives the cover a really nice finished edge. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now I've got my cover with a 1/2 inch spine, and this, the way I designed this, it should fit in there pretty nice and nestled, just like this, and it looks really cute. Now don't worry about this edge. If it cracks or anything, we're gonna do something to fix that. So mine didn't. This actual Doodlebug actually has really smooth paper. This is the perfect size for the cover, and now what we're going to do is I did it backwards on the one that I already showed you. I accidentally added adhesive to the wrong side of the album. So what I mean is I want to take the back and add adhesive all over the back of this, and we're going to glue it down. But on this one I accidentally added it to the front, so that's why when you open this album that I made, the inside of that yellow polka dot is this plaid, but what you see is the first page in my little gusset pages. So I glued down the front, but I think it's going to work better if we glue down the back. So it'll all make sense in a minute, but we're gonna put the cover aside for a second. The front, you're gonna flip it to the back, and you're gonna cover the back with some adhesive. Now, I recommend using strong adhesive for this because it's actually gonna be holding your book together. So again, I'm using Scor Tape. It's my absolute favorite, and I'm gonna use the 1/2" one. So I've just opened my book so I can work on a flat surface, and I'm gonna get the edges really well. You don't want any glue to seep over, so just be careful that you don't go over the edge. Okay, so I've pretty much covered the entire back cover with adhesive. Now I'm just doing what I told you, how it's really good idea to burnish all of that Scor Tape down. And now I'm gonna just release all the backing. Okay, so here's the back of our album, completely sticky and covered with adhesive. So now we're gonna bring in this cover. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be gluing down this to the back page of our cover. So here is the first score line right here, and here is the second score line. So you wanna meet that second score line, but do not go over it. Just go right at that second score line. The reason you don't want to line up these edges is because you want to make sure you're not obstructing this fold. So again, you're going to go with the second score line and line up your bottom page edge right at that score line. Once you've done that, you can pretty much just let go and now press down. I'm going to open up to that back page, which is right here, and it's all even because we've trimmed it down the same size. So now I'm just going to take my bone folder and make sure that's all adhered down. So now we have our book covered, and it's going to be super cute. Here's our flip through. The possibilities are endless with this technique. And here's the back page and the back. Okay, so the next thing is super easy. You're gonna grab the 2 6x12s that you have left. And so you're gonna choose what you want to be your spine. I chose this cute pattern here. So I'm gonna bring this over, and this is a very simple cover. So I wanna do a busier pattern. So I think I'm gonna do the flowers. We need a 2.5" piece for the spine. Grab your 2.5" piece and just stick it aside for right now. Grab this, you're gonna grab this and your other sheet, put it in long ways like this. So you got 6 inches at the top, and we're gonna cut these down to 4 inches. So I'm gonna do the same thing with this, 4 inches. And these are going to be the little photo mats that we put into the pockets. So then cut it into 4 inches this way. So they're going to be little 4x4 squares. So you can come up with 3 of them for this one. And then since we took some off of this, it's going to be a little bit less. So you're only going to come up with 2. But when you do this for multiple albums, you can mix and match your pages. So make sure to save all of these scraps because you can do fun stuff with them. And grab your scoring board one last time. Stick in the 2.5" piece. Stick it in your scoreboard just like this, and you're gonna score at 1 and 1.5. Fold on your score lines. So just fold on those score lines and then take your album and you're gonna fit it right there. Isn't that so fun? It just fits perfectly. So what those are now is 1 inch here, a 1/2 inch for the spine, and then 1 inch on the back. And just gonna fill this with wet glue. And the reason I use wet glue here is again because you wanna be able to get it completely straight and you'll have time to move it around. decorative spine piece, and it looks so good. Here's the top. It's very nice and neat, and it opens like this. And of course our pages are all in there. And here's the back cover. Oh my gosh, these are so easy, and this is a great way to clean up the spine, make it decorative, and now you just get to decorate it. So okay, so I'm all done and my camera battery died, so here I am to show you the final flip through. So I tried to keep everything that I used from the collection pack. I did bring in some paper clips. They are from Dollar Tree and you get 8 of them. So here's our first page. I just clipped one of these cute journal cards with one of those heart clips there. And I just used the other side of the paper clip over here to clip in one of those cute photo mats and a tag. Here's our first hinge page, and it makes a pocket. And there's of course a pocket over there too, so you can just put more stuff over there, whatever you want. And then I love this page because I took one of the die cuts from the ephemera pack along with this journal card. And then again, here's a hinge page, one of the photo mats, and a couple tags. And then here's this spread, and I just glued down this cute photo mat And I made like a little DIY embellishment down here with some of the scraps of the paper, a die cut, and some stickers. And then 2 journal cards in there. And then here I just put one of the adorable, what are they called? Doodle Pops. And they're like these dimensional stickers. I put one right there with the sprinkles. And then I just added a tag, a journaling card, and this scrap of paper. I thought that looked pretty cute. And then again, just some pockets here. And I put a die cut there. And anything can really be clipped here. We could even clip our little tag there and then stick other stuff in the pockets. And then here is the last spread just for photos. And I put a big sticker from the sticker sheet on the back cover. And then I added a cute little die cut to the back right there. So as you can see, these were super easy to make, super fast, and I used up most all of the paper in the paper collection. I have a few scraps left, and this is such a fun project to do, to give as gifts or just fill up with memories for yourself. But I hope you'll give it a try. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. And if you did enjoy this, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up. And for all of my friends who are already subscribed, thank you so much for coming back and watching another video. And for anybody new, welcome to my channel. I hope that you'll stick around and subscribe. Thanks again, everybody, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!